our CIC. Here he is again. He's getting vindicated in front of the whole world. He has warned us long time ago. Many of us were aware when he spoke about this and exposed certain things about what is happening in DRC and the South African Defense Force being involved without proper training. They are there, but there's no proper military training. He has exposed this, that they don't even have enough equipment, enough ammunition, enough troops, enough bombs to be going there. So what's the use for them to be going there? They're just going there to die. He said this a long time ago. We were aware that yazin lapha egama lapha near the border of Rwanda, ngapha phezulu is Burundi, somewhere there, our people, they're gonna die there because they're not well equipped. They're not well equipped. But of course, many of you disagreed with him. There's the interview that we were telling you about.
South African deployment of soldiers to DRC is out of order. It must be withdrawn with immediate effect. Not that South Africa is not supposed to deploy in DRC. We're supposed to deploy in DRC and be in the forefront. We just don't have the army. Our army can't look after cabbages. I can't hire them in my farm to go and look after cabbages. We just don't have the army. The ANC has collapsed the army. That's why in the manifesto of the EFF we say we will finance the army and make sure that it's properly trained and the necessary equipment needed for the success of the army is provided. The army has collapsed. How come the AK-47s just enter South Africa with ease? Look at what KwaZulu-Natal has become now, where guns are found with ease. AK-47 is associated with Mozambique. It's even on their logo. The flag of Mozambique has got AK-47 because that is a weapon of their choice. It has never been for us. Unless in exile, in MK and APLA and all of that. But we as a country, we don't count amongst ourselves the weapons that we prefer, AK-47. So it tells you this thing is entering somewhere. Where is the army? It's not there. There's no army.
That's the first interview. He went on, they asked him in different universities. You see, even in that university when he was speaking, what's this university? I think it's Rhodes University. He was speaking there, and then one of the students were asking him about Africa and Africa uniting and fighting together. He spoke about this. He spoke about the fact that if people are going to be sent there to fight all over the place or to fight against sponsored coups or sponsored wars, at least these African countries or the SADC or the countries that are going to send their military to go and help out in whatever said country, they need to be equipped. They need to have proper training. Not just send people to go to war where they will be required to run, where they will be required to have a certain level of stamina, where they will be required to have a certain level of training to shoot an ammunition, a certain level of training to shoot AK-47s, to shoot the small guns, 9mm, all of those things. I don't even think 9mm in war is gonna make you win the war. But this man said this a long time ago. Today, here he is getting vindicated. Many of you, he did an interview recently, and I'm gonna play the interview recently. He's been consistent. There's nothing in what he says that has changed. He's been consistent. He's been saying the same things. And I'm gonna play the clip. Many of you only saw this clip. I'm gonna play now. The clip he did when he was in school, and you're saying, why are you commenting now? You're doing it for political views. And us, you are like, he's been talking about it. Even in the interview with Clement Manyatela, he's talked about this, and he talked about the fact that our military has become weak. But listen to the recent interview. There's the recent interview.
Not because we don't want to support DRC. What M23 did to us It's actually a declaration of war against South Africa. You cannot be killed like that and you don't respond. That is an act of cowardice. Because M23 should know that South Africa is not a place to play. The point I made on the withdrawal of soldiers was that we did not deploy soldiers who are well trained to go and fight the sophisticated soldiers of M23. We just deployed people and we call them soldiers, but they don't have bullets. The reason why our 9 soldiers were killed now is because the person who was appointed, a tender that was appointed to supply ammunition, did not supply ammunition, and our people got killed. The first time they got killed in ambush in their own base. If you had shot 9 American soldiers with that madness which is in the presidents of America now, they would have flattened you the following day. No one would have played jokes. People are playing jokes with the lives of our brothers, and we must not allow that. If they can't give them equipment, let them come back. They were the death before this one. The soldiers were telling me that there were actually 2 military helicopters in their base, but there is no pilot to fly those helicopters. The first and the last time they flew there, that's when they were taking them there. You've got some bit of air power, but you don't use it because there is just no capacity. So someone is sleeping, and what makes matters worse, they take Mam Angie to become a Minister of Defense after being a Minister of sinkholes. I mean, this sinkhole started during her time. Now she's sinking the army now, after sinking Relebohile.
African standby force.
There's a rejection of African standby force by the imperialist forces in the West because they benefit out of the instability of DRC and Africa in particular. If there is any country that was messed up right from the beginning, was DRC. They have been destabilizing that country for many years because they want those minerals in the DRC. They even created illegal landing strips to land in DRC, to steal directly from DRC and leave. There's nothing revolutionary about M23.
That's our CIC, Julius Malema. This man, this giraffe view he always brags about, it seems like he has it. There is no disagreeing that this man, some of the predictions, they end up coming to light. They end up coming to life. This man is a social activist, is a political activist, is a ground force, is a real one. He's a real one. And many people, when he speaks, they take it to heart. They get emotional until the things he talks about happen. And then they realize, Yasin, this man has always been onto something and has always been consistent in these things he's preaching. Pella, one thing about the CIC you can never take away from him is the consistency. If he believes in something, if he says something, if he sees something, unless he decides to change his mind. But in majority of the things, he hardly changes his mind. He's always consistent. He's always consistent. Even with this. Me, when it happened, I was like, so it's long time coming. How can you go to war? You want to fight, you're going to war, but you don't have the proper equipment to go and fight. Even the gangsters who are bombing ATMs, I'm sure they have proper equipment better than the South African Defense Force. Out here in Limpopo, all these villages, they are bombing ATMs everywhere, these gangsters, with bombs. Shy bomb we use like 2 kilometers away. They have proper ammunition. But we hear our South African Defense Force, INANX, it's weak. It's a disappointment to the country. It's making us look bad into the world. It's making us look bad because even the people who are trying to come to the country and try and do some dumb shit and maybe start a war or something, they can easily come. They see our defense force INANX like one like yours, your call our fate to you, to each its own. To each its own. Hey my man, you better be ready to protect your own family because the police, they won't be there when it's color. And the South African Defense Force, the military won't be there. So you need to prepare yourself as a man to take care of your own, my man. But it is what it is. We thank you very much.